Hi everybody, welcome back to the beautiful Arma Reforger, and in this beginner's guide tutorial I wanted to go through what all the icons mean on the map, because as we all know it's very frustrating the fact that in Arma Reforger it doesn't tell you where you are. So when you bring up the map and you have this wonderful map that you can look around, they have all these little icons here. So what we're going to do, we're going to physically visit these icons so you can figure out where you are, because the big problem, as you probably know, is if you lose track of where you are and you get lost, it's like, well, how can I find out where I am again? And so the tools you have at your disposal are, the land around you, the landmarks that you can see around you, and then you have your compass so that you can orient yourself to those. So for example, in this case, if we look at the compass, we know that the sea is to my east, therefore I must be on the east coast, and we know that's north. We know there's a headland sticking out there. There's no obvious other landmarks around, such as a lighthouse or anything like that, but that could give us a bit of a clue. And then we know the map gives us it gives us this rather hilarious hint on the bottom right corner. You are in central Everon, south of military site. Okay, so where's the military site? So we actually know we're here. So where's the military site then? That's the military site there. So we're actually here. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's start off at the beginning. When you spawn in, you get this yellow marker here. And what I would say is, as you start to move around the map, really think about where you're going in relation to that, and try and keep an eye on it. Also, whenever you're going to go somewhere, think about the directions that you're going to go. So let's say we were going to go to Nebraska, say, for example. We would say, all right, okay, so I know the sea is to my east, so I'm going to head west. I'm going to find the track, this light brown, and then I know we follow the track north, and then we take the first left until the go past the pond, and then when the power lines get close to the road, that's where the capture point will be. Obviously, you're probably going to get shot at by NPCs by then. So that's the sort of thing you've got to be thinking. Now, it really helps as well, is even if you're on foot, to have someone who's doing the navigating. So that's their job. So they don't have to think about looking for enemies, but they can be looking around. And especially when you're in a vehicle as well. Look how beautiful this looks in this morning light. Someone's driving and someone else is looking at the map going, right, turn left, turn right. And also when you're in a squad, this is super important as well, the marker for the squad leader will be on the map, so you can figure out where you are from there. So let's talk about roads to start off with. So these roads here, these ones that are kind of this you do say it's a dark yellow or a light brown. Let's come out of here so I can kind of show you. If we go into Game Master mode, here we go. So I can press M, you can zoom in. So there we go. So here is, move the camera here. Right, so as you can see, this particular road, it's really just like a farmer's track with the wheels going here. Now, these types of roads can also be sort of gravel roads as well, so watch out for that. But if we come a little bit further up and say we turn left and we head towards Nebraska, and then if we look here, we can see this is where they've all come together, and they're all like these tracks. Now, if you see a yellow road, so let's go and find a proper road. So let's say we came out of our spawn and we got a vehicle and we wanted to head towards coastal base Chotan or Point Indiana. We would say, all right, so what I want to do, you'd look at your compass and go, okay, we're going to head south along the track, and then when we hit a proper road, we're going to turn left. So if you look at what this yellow road looks like, you can see, there we go. So it's a proper paved tarmac or concrete road. It comes through there, and then we're on to there. So when you're navigating around and you're lost, when you get onto one of these roads, it will be yellow. Now, these lines here, these straight lines with the dots in between, that's power lines. So these are really important because power lines often lead somewhere. So you can so if you're like lost at night in the dark and you're trying to get somewhere, obviously you could follow a road, but if you're in the countryside, you could follow the power lines, and generally at some point the power lines will go to somewhere and come through. And what we should find here maybe is a transformer. Let's see if we were to find that. There might be a transformer. No, there isn't. Okay, that's where we are. So you can see we're at Coastal Base Indiana now. Now, while we're here, we can look at these things. All right, so there's a transformer there. So if we move the camera here, I'll show you what I mean. So this is a transformer box. Now, this one is actually kind of in the wrong place, because what it should have the power lines come to it. Now, sometimes the transformer boxes will be on the side of a building, but that's what you see there. Now, these here, these sort of pointy black arrows with a clear bit in the middle, they are guard towers. So you can see here. So here's a guard tower. We can look at that. And then there's one at the other end of the base as well, isn't it? And it's all about, when you do seeing these things, getting your compass out, having a look at it, see where it is in relative to where you are, and then acting appropriately. Now, obviously, what have we got here? Now, actually, I don't know whether that will be a lighthouse. I doubt it. Let's see if there's any other proper lighthouses. Let's have a look at the map. Oh yeah, it is classed as lighthouse. Now, often lighthouses look like proper lighthouses, you know, with the stripy paint on, but this one just looks like a concrete bit. Now, often areas like this can be easy to see on the map, because we've got we know where the sea is, whether it's east or west. We know we've got the sea here, and then we've got like a jetty coming out into the sea, so you could with the lighthouse on it, so you could look at that and orient yourself to that. Now, these things here, these little T's, these are hunting platforms. So if we have a look at this, see if I fly over it. It's probably hidden in the trees, actually. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. So these are hunting platforms. Again, these are things that if you've got lost and you're travelling cross country, again at night, if you bump into one of these, you think, oh, I'm in DayZ. But again, you look at the map, that's what you can see there. And they're dotted all over the place. Now, if we go over here, you see this is a T with this like hockey stick on the bottom. These are interesting little things. So if we look at this, these are small. Now, these are like little religious shrines. And they come in lots of different shapes and sizes, but they have a religious theme. So this one is a cross with Jesus on it. I guess they're to keep travellers safe or something like that. In fact, let's see if we can find another one to see if we get a variation on it. There we go, there's another one there. So let's look at this one. It's on the road, isn't it, somewhere? There we go. Okay, so it's slightly different, but it's still got the cross on it. So again, if you come across one of those, you can see that. Now, this green thing here, these are really important, these. When you're playing Conflict or other game modes, they are supplies. Let's see if we can find them. Okay, for some reason they haven't spawned in. Don't think. Or are we in the wrong place? Let's have a look. Okay, yeah. So I wonder. Yeah, it may be because they haven't spawned in. So, because we're zipping around the map in Game Master mode, it might not be spawning in some of the things that would normally be here. So I tell you, if we teleport that guy there, let's see if they spawn in. Let's play. Let's lie down so they don't see us. Let's go back to Game Master. There we go. There we go. See, they've spawned in now. And then it says we've got some supplies, isn't it? Where are we? Where's the camera gone? I've lost my camera. Where's it gone? We were down here, weren't we? Alright, there we go. So that's where we are. So the supplies are there. Why can't I see them? So normally supplies will be a tent with some bits in them. Okay, so let's go somewhere else so I can maybe give you a better view just to show if we can see them. There we go. How about over here at Allah? Oh no, that's not what we want. Here we go, up here. Let's go here. So this should be down. Let's put our player in there. Player's character. Game master. Right, so the squad's there. Oh, here we go. So this is a typical supply dump that you'll see. Very, very important. You can drive a jeep here, you can buy a truck here, you can fly a helicopter. I guess you'd be tricky landing near this one, but you then load these supplies into your vehicle, which then allows you to take those back to a base and then make that base more useful by spawning in, say, an arsenal or a small vehicle depot or a big vehicle depot or a fuel point or a helicopter pad or barracks, so that you can spawn in NPCs, that kind of thing. Very, very, very important. Generally, they will have some NPCs defending them as well. So that's what they look like. Now, these blue things here, these are interesting. These normally have something to do with water. So this thing, I think, is like a water supply point. Kind of handles water for the town or something like that. So I guess that would be water underneath there. I guess we can't get underneath, can we? But something like that. But sometimes there'll be wells, or sometimes they will be like dried up fountains or dried up little ponds. Let's find another one so you can have a look at it. Another blue one. Here we go. There's something there. So let's see what this is. Here we go. So this one is, as you can see, that would be like a fountain, wouldn't it, or a pond. Sometimes it's like you'll see a round wooden cover, which would be over the top of a pond. Sometimes it's water pumps as well they put in. While we're here, these are bus stops. So sometimes they are a covered bus stop. So you'll get the bus stop here, and then you get a cover next to it. But sometimes it's just the sign. So look out for those. And generally as well, these will be, sometimes there'll be like one or two of them. And so you can kind of work out where you are by saying, okay, so they're in this relation. You know, one's on the north side of the road, one's on the south side of the road. And you can look that way. Now, also, while we're over here, so when you get this little house icon, you think this would be like the main building in the town or the village, and I guess it is. It's the pub or the cafe. If we go inside, you can see here we've got the tables, then we've got the beer, and then we've got the kitchen at the back. You think it would be the town hall, wouldn't you? But I guess you wouldn't have town halls in some of the little villages. So that's how you find that one. When you have the cross with the white circle in the middle, that means it's a big church. Well, it's a church, a proper church, like this. So you can find that. And then when you have the one without the white circle in the middle, so this one, this is more like a small chapel, perhaps. Again, I'm not quite sure how you would describe it. Here we go, this little building here. So again, there's just like a little altar. Sometimes they're by themselves. This one's obviously in a graveyard, so you can find that way. What other things have we got here? Here we have a little bunker. Obviously where the sea's fall. That's quite interesting. Obviously the sea's fallen in at this point. We've got a few bunkers there. A fuel point. Again, fuel points are interesting because it could be, this will be tanks, I think, here. Yeah, so this is tanks. This is quite interesting because this is an indication maybe of boats coming officially. I mean, boats will eventually come officially to Arma Reforger, but that one's on that jetty. Most of the time, they tend to be in the base, so you'll see some tanks, or there'll be like a petrol station. Let's see if we can find a petrol station one for you, just to show you that. There we go. There's actually, I don't think this would be a petrol station. I think these would be tanks, but let's have a look. Oh, it's kind of like a petrol station, isn't it? So you've got the tank, and then you drive within this circle, and then you can refuel. But sometimes they're like proper petrol stations, or gas stations, I guess you'd say, in America. We've looked at that. We've looked at that. We've looked at those. That's a transformer. We've talked about those. Let's have a look, see if there's anything we've missed. Alright, these little square things with the... There we go. Alright, yeah, so these are radio towers. Again, often easy to see at a distance. So there's one there. Let's go and find another one, just so that you can see. Here we go. So... There we go. So we've got a nice radio tower. Very good. You could climb to the top of one of these to have a look around to really get your bearings. So we've got that. This little squiggly blue thing. I guess it's... Oh, all right. Yeah, these are actually wells. So this is where you would get fresh water from. Like a spring would come up. So the spring would come up and dribble out of there. Very, very good. Water towers as well. We haven't looked at water towers. Let's see if we can find a water tower. Again, they're a tall structure that it's easy to see from a distance. Obviously, bridge. Nice, that's an obvious one to look at. I think that's one there. There we go. So there's the water tower. So that's kind of the blue one. If you remember, the black version of this was a guard tower, and the blue one is a water tower. Will probably come in lots of different shapes and sizes, but again, something that's relatively easy to look at. Get your compass out, and you can figure out where you are from that. There's another petrol station over there. I think we've covered all of the different things now. So that's all the different kind of icons you would see on the map. Remember, when it comes to supplies, they're also in other places rather than being marked on the map. So you may well stumble across them anyway. So that might be a bit confusing if you're navigating. If you come across some supplies and you think, well, it's not on the map, where am I? But don't worry about that too much. I reckon this is a proper petrol station here. Let's have a look. There we go. So this is what I call a proper petrol station where you'd pull up in your car. Again, you can fill up from there. So that's kind of the icons or the legend, you would say, of the map. Remember, when you're playing Conflict, when you're playing on the big map, you have to capture 5 of the purple capture points. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 altogether, and your team has to capture 5. When you're playing on the small map, when you're playing on Ireland, you've got to capture 2. And of course, when you start off, like we started off up here, didn't we? You can only capture bases that are within your radio range. So as you can see, there's a radio, so we could go down and we could capture Indiana, or we could go and capture Nebraska, but that's it. We would have to capture those points, which would then extend our radio range, or we could build a radio tower, a radio transmitter, and that would extend the range, or we could use the radio car. But we also have, and forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, we also have topographical information as well on the map, and that is in terms of the colours on the map. I guess that would that be geological, topographical. So we've got things like green. So green. In fact, if we let's go and you can see this here. As you can see, we've got a green area which could be wooded and could be open. They're not always completely clear which is which. And we have the grey area, which there we go. So the grey area generally is open. The green area is generally wooded. The grey will be hillsides, and then these lines that run along, these are areas of land which are the same altitude, and you can see sometimes they have it at the tops. And the way that you can read this is that if there's lots of these lines close together, like there is here, see there's lots of them, that means it's a hill. So if we go over here, we can see, so there's a big change in elevation. So we know there's a hill. And at some point, where you have a line that goes all round in a circle, that means it'll either be the top of a hill or the bottom of a hole. But because it gives us the height in metres, so 348 metres, we know that this would be the top of the hill there. So again, so say we were down here and we looked at our compass, we could see where the sea was. We looked left, we see this big hill to our left, and we could see that. Actually, there is something we haven't looked at. There should be a castle as well. Castle Ridge, there's a castle. So there should be a marker for a castle, I would have thought. Tower Regina. Right, so that's the transmitter which we were expecting. There's a cross. Let's go down to Castle Ridge, Montford Castle. Okay, that might be. I wonder what that is there. That L. I wonder if that must be the signal for a castle, maybe. Interesting. A keep. Very pretty, isn't it? So that's how you can use the colours and the lines on the map to look at, right, what sort of foliage would be. Is it an open area? Is it a wooded area? Is it a hilly area? Or is it, is it high or is it low? Is it a valley? That kind of thing. So there we go. Hopefully that's helpful. And remember, the best bit of advice I can really give you is that if you get lost, so think about where you spawned and where the enemies will be. And then go towards the enemies. So we know, for example, in this particular case, we spawned up here, and we know, therefore, that our enemies are going to be spawning probably in the south here, maybe down here, but they're probably in the south. So if I was lost and I knew I was somewhere over here, because it would tell me, on the map, it would say you are somewhere in southern Everon, and I couldn't figure out where I was. What I would do is I would tend to say, okay, I'm just going to head south until you hit a road or hit a dirt track, and then follow that dirt track till it hits a main road, and then just choose a direction again towards the enemy, so south, something southeast, southwest or south, and then run till you find a town. Because what isn't on here, but is one of the best things for figuring out where you are the signs at the entrances and the exit to towns and the road signs. So as we come up here, say we were running up here and maybe it's night time, oh god, where am I? I don't know where I am. We come up here, and there we have the definitive answer to where you are, which is a town. So we know we're entering Entre Deux, and you get your compass out, and you can say, well, I know I'm entering Entre Deux from the west. Is that where we come from? Yeah, from the west. Therefore, I must be there. Oh, and look, there should be a bus stop, which there is there. And then the other thing that you can see here as well is a sign. So that says Lorenz is 4 that way and Chotan is 4 that way. So we would look at our compass and go, okay, so that's south. So we could zoom out and say, okay, so there's Chotan. Where's Lorenz? It's a long way away, isn't it? Can't see it. Oh, there's Lorenz. So we would know where we are there as well. And also, I guess the thing I would say you could do as a complete last resort as well, if you do get a lot lost, because the thing is, it should be fun playing this game, is hit escape, and hit a respawn and go back to the home base. Because kind of if you do that, all right, you've cost some supplies to your team, but sometimes you've got to think, am I more useful being lost running around in the dark, not engaging the enemy, not capturing any objectives or anything like that, or am I better off just respawning to somewhere where I know where I am and then acting accordingly? So there we go. Hopefully you found this useful. How to understand the different icons on the Arma Reforger map. If I've missed anything out, or if you've got any other hints and tips, please put them in the comment section below the description below this video. And if you enjoyed the video, hit like, comment, the same, press subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.